2025, a year in review, our take on the real estate market for this last year, and some analysis and deep dive. Stay tuned to this episode of The Den.
The Den, powered by the Lyons Group, a show that explores trending topics in real estate, entrepreneurship, and personal growth. We're a small team of professionals with over $400 million in sales and nearly 2,000 successful transactions. You're listening to time-tested experts and industry leaders. Here's a refreshing look at real estate happenings and more. Welcome to The Den.
Hey everyone, welcome to this episode of The Den. And today we're going to be talking about 2025 year-end review. How was it in the real estate arena? Was it a smash or a pass? But before I get to that, let me introduce my friends, my partners, my co-hosts, the fellow members of the Lyons Group. To my right, Paul, hand me the Rockberry, Aspen, the Ninja Gruen, and the boss, Shannon Martinez. My name is Ben. Don't hit the red button, Lyons. And today we're going to talk about 2025 year-end recap. Was it a yummy year or a dummy year in real estate? I'm just full of it today.
You are full of it.
Just for the disclaimer, Paul said I could not use the smash or pass, but I threw it in there, Paul.
You did it anyway.
You know, I just throw caution to the wind.
I thought you were going to then go Ben, pass, Lyons.
The big red button's more appropriate for me. So
the whammy button.
The whammy button, that's right. So 2025, interesting year in real estate. There was a lot of things that happened. We saw termination rates that were really high. I think that most people didn't realize the amount of terminations we were going to have in the market. Also, interest rates, there was an ebb and flow there, but not as severe as some predicted. There's still a housing shortage. So let's get to some of the details. Paul, I'm going to jump straight to you. I know it hurts, doesn't it? But you're an easy target.
I wasn't even looking at you.
2025, what are your thoughts? Was it a good year or a bad year in real estate?
Oh, for me, it was my worst year. Yeah. I did I put in Chat GPT. I said, what's the most interesting stat in the housing market in both the national, state, and local? And it said on the national scale, there was a reset across the country. It was moving more towards a kind of an equal market. They said New Mexico was very stable, didn't go up or down very much. And Farmington, the interesting thing was it wasn't scared of the interest rates. It was more based on jobs and affordability. So we were not interest rate shy.
That's interesting.
That was the interesting thing that it said.
What's your take on that? I mean, because our average sales price in San Juan County is what, $315,000 or so?
Yeah, about that.
Which is, 66% of the average sales price in America, which is closer to $450,000. So that's weird that the affordability component comes into play. Well,
I think too, we're very, from what the data was saying, job transfers, new jobs. So moving in for new jobs, we're very oil and gas centric still, at least in the housing. The jobs associated with housing is still more oil and gas or energy centric. We did have the plants, all of those severance packages were ending this year. So people were moving away. So we still had the big ones, the marriage and divorce, death, and jobs.
Marriage, divorce, death, and jobs. Wow. Compelling reasons to move. I mean, You would think in this market, it's kind of, you almost have to have a compelling reason to move because, so many people locked in at the interest rates, 2.5%, 2.75%, 3%.
And one of the big things they were saying was millennials were the least scared of interest rates.
They just want a house.
Yeah.
And I think they just don't have a baseline either for where they've been.
Yeah. Interesting. That's interesting.
That's my stats. I'm done.
That's right.
Thank you.
Paul checked it off. All right. Aspen.
Well, that wraps it up for today.
Yeah, so that was a good episode, everyone. So.
5 minutes.
Aspen, jumping to you. What was the big surprise for you in 2025?
I wouldn't say that was a surprise necessarily for me in 2025, but a stat I found that I was surprised. Actually, I wasn't that surprised about, but seeing an actual number put to it. According to Bankrate, 75% of homes on the market are overpriced. So they kind of, and I was like, what does that mean? Reading into the article, it basically said like they can't afford the house. So 75% of homes that are purchased on the market right now are not purchased by people that could actually comfortably afford the homes. So
Wow.
that was interesting to me. So it was like saying the typical U.S. household earns about $80,000 per year, but 75% of the homes on the market would require a household income closer to $113,000 to qualify without being financially stretched.
Wow.
So that was interesting to me. And it's not surprising, but I was kind of surprised to see actual numbers to it.
Yeah. Do you feel that with your clients? I mean,
Oh, yeah.
people are just stretching.
I think we all do. Yeah.
Yeah, well, they're allowing up to 48% debt to income now, which is crazy.
I was actually just talking to a friend about this. We've always seen, we can preach until our ears bleed. Like, don't buy a house at the top of your approval letter. Get it somewhere in the middle, maybe even to the low end if you can find something. I think the issue right now is people have to stretch to the top because they have to have a house that is financeable with their loan type. So it used to be, maybe you didn't get a laundry room or you didn't get a pantry or, maybe there was 2 bedrooms instead of 3. You had to sacrifice some things, but now it's like you actually have to spend more to qualify for a house because that house is just costs more now.
Yeah.
Well, a house on the country club now is now a double wide on an acre. What used to be a house on the country club.
I see.
350, something like that. Now you're buying a double wide with a couple acres.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, the prices are getting crazy.
Yeah. But it's all relative though. I mean, it really is in the sense that, I just remember in the early 2000s going, wow, that's 150,000. Like, I cannot believe that house just is not worth 150,000. And, 20 years later, I'm like, I'd give anything to buy that house for that price.
245 is the new 150, I feel like.
Yeah,
Exactly.
It really is. I mean, and that's the thing is that the perspective changes over the years. So the asset stays the same, but the value obviously floats to the new water level.
I would like to say, though, that stat that you just pulled out is an indicator of that 2008 bubble where people can't afford their homes.
I think that's different, though, because that was, lending. If you were getting $1 million house rather than having people be stretched to the top, it means they still can't afford it. They just can't afford it quite as
And those
comfortably.
loans aren't going to move.
Yeah.
Whereas before, people's loans were moving and that was something they couldn't control. So they're stretched, but hopefully they'll grow into those payments or they can just stay stretched for a while until it's comfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah. The double whammy is you stretch on your payment and then groceries and utilities and those things continue to go up. And now you're in a pickle. Mm-hmm. In fact, the stat that I just saw earlier today was pretty shocking. It said the hidden costs of homeownership soar to an average of $1,783 a month across America.
Yeah, I could see that.
And that would be your taxes, your insurance, and your utilities combined.
Oh, just that? Not even your...
Not including the mortgage.
I'm not talking about the mortgage. I'm talking about like repairs and stuff too. Does that include repairs?
It's property taxes, insurance, and utilities. The average cost in America is $1,800 a month.
That's steep.
I mean, that is a house payment.
It is, yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's incredible. That was one of the big things that came out was it's not just your monthly payment. It's everything else that's involved. That was a pretty surprising
your roofs
stat.
are a lot more too. Your heaters are more. Everything's more.
Well, and insurance is getting a lot more strict on what they will or will not insure, requiring repairs. Appraisals coming in with required repairs more.
Mm-hmm. Yep. We had a situation where insurance company flew a drone over a property and said, "Oh, you need a new roof."
They just tried to do that to me
Oh,
at
really?
one of my rentals. I said, no.
Yeah, and they say they're going to drop
What
you.
they say?
No, I said, I got a roofer out there, got an inspection done on it and submitted the inspection. And they said that I didn't have to
Yeah,
get a new
interesting.
roof. I was like, don't tell me I need a new roof.
Yeah,
Right.
Like from a drone,
Yeah.
like not even a roofer going out there and looking at it, just from a drone pic. You
yeah.
have no idea. No. So yeah, I got an actual roofer out there.
It's kind of flagrant though to just be able to,
Yeah.
at any point, you need a new roof. It's
Yeah.
kind of like just your insurance carrier showing up at your house and being like, you need new tires. By the way, Paul called me out on that today.
You need new tires. Those are street slicks for sure.
After lunch, he's like, hey, dude, you need some new tires. I'm like, I like spinning out.
Don't even talk to me about tires.
Yeah.
We know you need new tires.
Yeah. I don't. I'm like, so the last one that just popped was like new. It was brand new. My alignment's
so
bad.
crazy.
Hit one too many curbs, I guess. So I'm going to go get my car.
How do you do that? You just override the robot in there? And
you have no idea. I'm driving with my knee. I'm doing my makeup in the mirror.
And one leg up, right?
Yeah, and one leg up. Sometimes both legs if I'm feeling real comfy.
What a sight to see. Oh my gosh.
Hi, I'm Shannon, a partner at the Lyons Group. We're dedicated to making your real estate experience the best it can be. If you're looking to buy or sell, go to sjcbroker.com and watch our informational video series. These videos break down the process and shed some light on buying or selling. While you're there, schedule a private consultation with one of our partners. We'd love to sit down, talk strategy, and give you the real advantage in today's market. You deserve the best, so take the steps, and we'll talk to you soon. Now back to the show.
It was another interesting stat. Behind married couples, which makes up 62% of the buyer pool in America in 2025, single
millennial women
solidified the number 2 spot. I mean, put a stamp on it with 20% of the buyers.
They were the fastest growing one this year too.
Pretty incredible. And they attribute that to, well, I mean, what are your thoughts? But they attribute that
women
to
are more educated now. They have higher paying jobs. I mean, it's kind of not.
Women too nowadays are really taught to take control of their finances and take control of their future. I remember buying my first house as a single young lady. I might have been maybe 26 years old, and everybody was like, wow. It was a big deal.
Yeah.
You know, young women didn't do that. But now it's expected that young women are going to, you're going to get your act together and you're going to, take care of yourself. I think it's a great thing.
I
think it's
so
great
too.
to see young women, taking charge of their life and their future.
Well, women seem to be a little bit more like goal oriented, like this is what I want. I'm going for this type of thing. And guys, it takes us a while. I would say guys are goal oriented too, but it's just in a different way. I mean, what are your thoughts, Paul? We just don't have our crap together.
No, I think we want.
We're just a mess.
I think guys, my experience, guys want to be the manager of a company. They just want to be the boss right away. They don't want to be told what to do. And I think ladies getting into the workforce, they're going more the college route. I see a lot of my daughter's friends going into the nursing school. And I think nursing, dental hygienist, those types of things, which are high paying jobs. Those are things that they can do a little bit of schooling, get in right away and start a career.
I also think a lot of these higher up positions like managers or, things of that sense, they require a degree now, and women are more in college than men right now as well.
Yeah. And women are planners. Mm-hmm. Like you all plan.
I think it's like kind of goes back to even like whenever you have really little kids, you hear boys will be boys. They're just crazy. And then the girls are very organized and they're all doing things. I do think there has been more pressure put on girls from a younger age to do these things. But now there's a lot more options too. Mm-hmm. So it does make sense to me why. And I think for women too, it's like the security of having your own house is very appealing.
Yeah. And that's what I mentioned was the security component, and stability was mentioned, and the potential for a family down the road. So women are planning and guys are like willy-nilly.
Well, I think guys have those dreams and they go after it, like professional baseball player, those types of things. And then when it doesn't work out, then they go to school and do something
should try to figure it out. So
or like me, I had no idea what I wanted to do. So I go in the military, then I got out and I had no idea what I wanted to do. I still don't.
Yeah.
I still have no idea what you're going to do.
I have direction with no...
I was like, I don't know. Paul has his fingers in everything.
Yeah.
See, I can't make a decision.
He still doesn't know what he wants to do.
The decision is yes.
Yeah. I got to learn to say no. Yeah. I think eventually all the things that I'm doing will come back and go and say, I had a plan all along.
It'll all coalesce.
Hopefully.
Yeah. Is that a right word? Coalesce? See, look at me. I sound smart.
There's no C at the end though.
Coalesce. No. Another interesting stat was the commercial evolution. Because of the strain on the housing demand, we've had, how many millions of homes are we underserved right now, Aspen?
Oh, it's like, I think between 3 and 5 million. It's a lot.
Significant amount across America. And so there's been a big push in the commercial arena to transform some of these commercial buildings that are just sitting vacant into multifamily dwellings. And there's been a big push there. And I think it's a great thing because, gosh, like we were at San Francisco just after COVID. And I was talking to a good friend of mine who worked in downtown San Francisco. And he's like, see that building? I'm like, yep. And he goes, it's like 5% occupied.
That's
and
crazy.
It's like a skyscraper. I'm like,
Seattle
whoa.
was like a ghost town.
Yeah.
I felt like there was like no one there. There was whole buildings just empty.
Just empty.
It's weird.
Yeah, because
it's too expensive.
Well, no, the push was all of a sudden now people realized that is one thing that evolved from the COVID era was you could work remotely. Like, why are we spending a lot of time commuting to the office and things like that? If people are productive from their home office or whatever else, and with the emergence of all the extra tools you can have with Zoom meetings and things like that, I mean, it's just not a necessary expense that the companies need to have.
This is something going around on TikTok right now, and I'm curious what you guys would choose. So there's people saying, if you were offered a job for $120,000 a year and you were working remote, so you could work anywhere you wanted, or $240,000 a year, but you have to be in the office 40 hours a week, which one would you choose?
Oh, 100%. I'd take the 120.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm in that office.
Are you? Would you?
Stupid, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, for me, it's freedom. I mean, our most valuable asset, in my opinion, is time. And so the fact that I can take my time and do with it what I will. So if I can
You still have to work though. You're just working at.
Okay. So that's
same job.
Well, hold on one second. Let me ask this question. Follow-up question. Okay. Clarity. Do I have to put in 40 hours of work or do I just have to get my work done?
Yeah. I don't know. Dealer's choice.
Okay. Yeah. So dealer's choice on that would be that we have the ability to do, I can do what would be equivalent to 40 hours of work.
He just wants to be in his pajamas.
In 20 hours. I like my hair kind of
That's the entrepreneur answer, though. Yes. I think it's more just like the basic question. No extra jobs, no extra anything. Do you value freedom or money? Like kind of, and it's still comfortable. Like the 120,000 still.
Well, in that instance, I can see 240. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, most people, like most younger people, like Gen Z would choose the remote work.
Yeah.
And then the millennials almost exclusively are choosing the office.
Wow. See, and I'd be hustling on the side. I'd have side gigs.
Ben's over there trying to make his own rules.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm bending the question. So that's interesting. So you think most people pick the 240 and, or like you said?
I think it's just split, dependent, but I think it's age dependent. I think I could see why Gen Z would do that versus millennials. I feel like we're doing internships just to get some crumbs of like the corporate life. So
yeah. I can see that.
Yeah.
Another interesting fact, this is from the Chicago Real Estate Institute, proximity to Starbucks can boost your home value. And that was a thing that came out just this, I know, Paul.
I did know that.
That's shocking. I've never heard that.
Yeah. If there's a Starbucks in your neighborhood, because Starbucks is pretty particular about where they put it, it raises the
Except
home
next
value.
to Johnny O's.
Ooh.
That's a good partnership.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what about
donuts and coffee?
What does it say about Dollar Generals?
Yeah.
Those are everywhere.
Yeah.
They're more than Starbucks now.
Yeah, I can see that for sure. So yeah, and I think that speaks to the walkability factor because a lot of people want to have the walkability, want to be able to close.
That's my number one thing whenever I move that I'll be looking for is walkability.
And there's all kinds of great little areas in big cities where you can find that kind of little suburban life with its own micro, community, which is pretty cool. So here our walkability is a little bit different.
I think it's like 0.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'll get hit.
Yeah.
I grew up in a walkability area.
Yeah.
It's not all it's cracked up to be.
Yeah.
Maybe a nicer place with walkability is big. But
Well, it's like better for your health. It's better for like you're talking to more people. You see more people. It's like better for longevity. There's a lot of all of the, blue zones that are the people that live to be like, 113 or whatever. They all like walkability and community are like the biggest things that they have in common.
Yeah. There was an interesting TED Talk about correlations with longevity, and they did like everything from your health to your emotional well-being to, did you smoke or whatever it was, and one of the biggest correlating factors between longevity was people that are actually social as they age. People that, if you go into a store and you're in your 80s, that you're talking to the lady or the gentleman behind the counter.
Yep.
That you build some relationships there. So
and multi-generational households are actually really good for that as well.
I can see that. Yeah, because if you're just isolated, we're isolated as not, enough as it is. That makes a big difference. So another interesting stat, 10 to 15% of the experienced agents in America were responsible for over 50% of the business, which is pretty incredible. So the top 10 to 15% of the agents transacted
for 50%,
over 50% of the business. So it seems to me like the industry is evolving, and buyers are intentionally choosing real estate agents that know how to navigate the waters. I mean, tell me your read on that stat, Shannon. What are your thoughts on that?
I agree. I think that people used to just, if you could maybe pick up a phone and call an ad in a paper or something, and whoever you got was who you ended up working with. But I think now, especially with social media and people talk about their experiences a lot more, and you've got Google reviews everywhere, things of that nature, I think it's easier for people to seek out true experts instead of just somebody that has a license. Because let's face it, a lot of people have a license. Even if they don't do a lot. And I'm not saying that they may not do a good job, but, and just because you do a lot of business doesn't mean you do a good job. Maybe you do too much business and you're not doing a good job for your people, or you're, kind of giving all that work out to other people that are below you.
I've been on the both sides of that spectrum.
Yeah, I mean, there's, that's just, it's all depending on what you want, as a customer. But I do think that, I do think that people are getting a little smarter, and they want to know who's the best realtor out there. I want to use the best, or I want to use someone that I've heard of, or somebody has recommended to me. So I think it's a little harder for these newer realtors, besides just a family or friend. They're gonna get that business no matter what. But it's gonna be a little bit harder for them to really put a name behind them unless they do the hard work in advertising and being present. Yeah.
I saw a funny thing the other day. It was like, how we always post just sold, just listed. And there's this lady walking around going, "Oh, Ben sold another one. Yay. Honey, did you hear? Ben sold another one."
Yeah. Yeah.
It was hilarious.
I don't think they care as much as we care.
They don't care.
You?
No. It was just yeah. Hey, would you?
I didn't get what you were talking about. I'm sorry.
But I do think that consumers really, with AI especially, consumers are really starting to dig in and go, okay, what do I want? If this is really a difficult market, how do I, and the affordability factor is like Paul says, affordability is running away from us. How do I put myself in the best position? And I think that's a trend we're probably going to continue to see. So, if you're a younger realtor or you're newer in your career, I should say, in this business, grind it out, keep working, roll your sleeves up, get out there, keep putting in the work, because at some point you pop up, at some point you overcome that component. But right now, I think you're right, Shannon. The days of, whoever I get at the other end of the line is going to be fine.
Another thing that's got a little bit interesting that I was reading is that typically, about 10% of homes sold are for sale by owners. And I think this past year it was closer to I think they said between 5 and 7%. So people are trusting realtors a little bit more now. I think they're finding that it's a little harder to navigate maybe than they thought. See, I would have thought that with all the social media and everything at people's fingertips, because you can talk to AI, you can ask questions, you can download forms, you can do so many things. I would have thought that more people would be trying to sell their own house, just assuming because they have more resources available to them that they used to years ago. But that's not the trend. I mean, people are using realtors more, which is great for us. I mean, and it's good because I think that, people typically get a better deal if you're a buyer, you get more money if you're a seller, you get more protections, there's so many things that come along with knowing you got the best deal you were going to get,
Yeah.
no matter what you were doing, rather than if you do it on your own. Have you ever, I'm sure you guys have represented somebody and they say, well, I bought it for sell by owner, 10 years ago or whatever. And then they start telling you things and you're like, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
You did that. Oh, okay.
You probably need to consult an attorney right away.
Exactly. And you're thinking, you know what, you should have called me 10 years ago, not now. So I think that, it's good for people that they're starting to see that, see the value in that.
Yeah, that's an interesting trend. Yeah.
Well, I think one of the things that I notice is, and talking to people in the trades, is most people don't want to know how to do things for themselves anymore.
True.
They'll call somebody.
True.
I think we talked about this in another podcast. So I think going back to realtors as opposed to, we have educated buyers and sellers now, but they want it all done for them. Mm-hmm. And they'll just say, what about this? They'll just ask you questions through the process, like testing you on what you know. But I think most people just say, well, do it for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And maybe they want to understand the process. That's where some of these tools and resources really come into play. Is like, I could learn how to really change the oil in my vehicle and maybe tune it up and do these things. I could learn all that, but I would much rather just understand kind of what they're doing and then let the professionals do it.
And actually
right?
interesting, maybe that's the key. People now that they have access to those things are learning more and realizing it is out of their league.
Yeah.
I wish somebody would tell my husband that anytime anything's broken, he's on YouTube, he's on a million different things. He'll figure it out. He's going to call everybody and ask how it's done.
Yeah.
That's a great quality. But, maybe people with all that information now are saying, okay, now I can see what it really, because people always say that, well, I'll just do it myself.
You can see the time that goes into it and you're like, oh,
Exactly.
actually, I don't want to spend my time doing that.
Yeah. Maybe all those tutorials are helpful in the opposite direction. They teach people that they don't want to do it.
Whenever I was painting my cabinets by myself and it was taking me 2 weeks, whenever the professional said 3 days, I was filled with regret. But also I was like, I couldn't justify the cost until I got into it. And I was like, man, worth every penny.
Yeah.
Too late now.
Well, and that's, then you're in it too deep, right?
We're at the end. We're at the closing table at that point.
Yeah.
What about the big, the thought of the mass exodus of realtors? What do you think happened in 2025? We had 1.57 million realtors at the beginning of 2025. Where do you think we're at now? I got the stat.
I don't know where we're at, but I think after the first of the year when people have to renew, it's going to go way down. I think in 2020 spurred people on. That's what always happens. Everybody jumps in. The market is hot. Then as soon as they see a difficult market, which last year has been a difficult market, they all say, yeah, that's not for me. There are a lot of realtors. They're the ones at the bottom of that 50% we were talking about. The ones that are the long haulers, the ones that are always going to be there. Those are the ones that are doing the selling. Those ones at the bottom, those are the ones that are just going to sell one here and there. They're going to do what's easy and they're going to leave as soon as it gets hard.
Fair enough. Paul, what are your thoughts? 1.57, where do you think?
I don't know. We've been saying this since COVID that there's going to be some sort of mass exodus, and there hasn't been.
I think there's more now.
Yeah, I think it's close to there.
You think it's close to there? And you think it went up?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Okay. And Shannon, where do you think it's
$1.
Yeah, exactly. It went up in $1. No, I don't think that we'll know that until after the first of the year, because when people have to renew, that's when it's going to happen. I don't think people are dropping off yet. I think they're going to drop off after this year.
That's a good point. Having said that, we went from 1.57 down to 1.5. So we've lost I would say that's about 3.5-4% of realtors. But the big question is when renewal hits, which is right now, are people re-upping and paying for the next year for 2026?
Well, I think the barrier to entry was high, and now the renewal is not that high.
Yeah.
So once you're in, it's not like, well, I just spent $5,000 to get into this business. Why would I not spend $800 or whatever it is to stay? Like you always say, sell one house and you paid for it.
Yeah. Yeah.
They get to sell 2 houses and they made a profit.
We'll see here in a few weeks how that plays out locally and nationally. We're winding down on time. It was a great discussion for 2025. Interesting year in real estate, whether you are on the receiving end or the giving end of good or bad. We feel you in this room here. We actually had a lot of transactions. We had a lot of great experiences with our clients, thank goodness. But it goes without saying, a difficult year altogether. So, Paul,
it's a pass.
Yeah, it's a smash or pass. Pass.
Wouldn't do it again.
Pass.
Pass.
Pass. Okay, I think we got some passes in the room. room. So thank you for listening to this episode of The Den. If you like our content, please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Go to our Facebook page, and you get all kinds of great information. Of course, you can go to sjcbroker.com, schedule a private consultation with any one of us here at the Lyons Group. Thank you for listening to this episode. Until next time, we'll see you then.
Thank you for listening to this episode of The Den, powered by the Lyons Group. Hit the subscribe button to keep informed and check the show notes below for direct links to our buyer and seller video series. The buyer and seller video series can give you an inside track on taking the right steps in real estate. If you'd like to learn more about the Lyons Group or to schedule a consultation, go to sjcbroker.com. Complex markets require complex strategies. The Lyons Group can give you a true advantage in any market. Whether you're buying or selling, residential or commercial, contact us directly at sjcbroker.com. We're time-tested experts with a client-first approach, and we'll see you next time in the Den.